So I'm finding it really interesting looking back on like personal relationships now that there are no personal relationships. And there's a seeing how beautiful they are. Like when I first heard this message and I was listening to it almost all day. I mean, it kind of went in waves and I kind of left it for a while and then I came back. But there was just more and more of an increasing sense of like, I'm ready to give everything up. I'm ready to lose everything. I'm ready to die on a personal level. Like, I don't want to hold on anymore. There's nothing really as important as liberation, even though the me didn't know what it was. It just wanted it so badly, but not in an intense grabbing way. It was just like an internal, very gentle but all-consuming, I'm done. In a way, I'm done with life. On the personal level. On the level of like Suzanne. I'm not done with life in general. I want to know what it's like to be liberated, even though the person is not there if liberation happens. And so Suzanne kind of went through kind of like a beautiful mourning process. And I wouldn't say that it was beautiful at the time, but it felt like everything Suzanne was afraid of losing was just kind of coming up. So relationships was like a big thing, and you know, really mourning the loss of my relationship with my mom, with my dad, with my sister, with friends. Like there was a real mourning process. It was sad. It was as if I was losing them. Losing them in the sense of like, and maybe the me was really exaggerating, but it was like, I'm gonna lose all my memories of them. I'm gonna lose my future with them. And it couldn't imagine what it would actually be like. It just kind of knew that something would really, really change or it wouldn't be there anymore in the same way. And so yeah, it wasn't like an intellectual, oh, I'm gonna lose this, this, and this. It was like a body felt mourning, just like a gentle sadness, and kind of an okayness with that. And it wasn't it wasn't planned out or anything like that. It just kind of came up on its own. And yeah, it was, in a way, it's just so beautiful. Like how humans create relationships and have this memory of the past and, you know, have hopes for the future, and they have this idea of a certain person and how they're like, and it's kind of a memory bank of the person's quirks and, you know, what makes them happy and what makes them mad. It's all these concepts that are really believed in, and there's a real felt sense that I'm a person with all of these concepts about who I am, and I really believe in it, that I'm this person and I had this past and I had this, I'm going to have this future, and this person, this other person will be in my life. We've had, you know, an amazing but intense past, and we fought a lot, but we always loved each other in the end, and we're gonna have this amazing future, and we're gonna travel together, and it's gonna be great. And it's not really until the me fell away where I realized how much of that was still lived in the world of the person. Like, that was still very vibrant, even though I had thought that I had like detached from the relationship to a certain extent, and it was kind of true, but with the me gone, it wasn't really detachment. It was like, this is a thorough death of the me here and the relationship it had with another apparent me there. And, you know, it might have been sad at the time, kind of like reminiscing and knowing that something would really change, and just feeling a deep like readiness to let all of that go. It wasn't just relationships, it was my hopes and dreams for a better life for myself, a better, you know, like a fulfilling, purposeful, productive, successful career in the future, or making something of myself. It was the death of that. It was the death of a lot of other things. Maybe I'll get into that later. But now looking back on this personal relationship, it's amazing how it's created and how it's held on to without being held on to. It's just there. When the me is there, it's just there. Like, there is kind of a heaviness to it because it's a lot. It's like, it's the past and all you've been through together, and you know, what you want to improve on in the relationship, and how you want it to look in the future, and how you're going to act the next time you meet them. And you know, like, am I a good daughter? Can I be a better daughter? I want to make my parents proud. There's just a lot. It's a lot. And in a way, you lose a lot of the seeming good and the bad. But in reality, you don't lose anything, because like I met my mom. I stayed with her for like 2 weeks during the holidays, and it was so nice. I think for the first time for as long as I can remember, it was so nice. And she still got on my nerves. Like, there was still a lot of annoyance, but it was light. It was like, and I would express it more and more in a joking manner, like, oh, can't you just do this? And the agitation was there, and then it was kind of forgotten about, you know, in an hour or two or whatever. And then she would do something that annoyed me again, and then agitation would arise. But it was so light. There wasn't this remembering of the past, like, oh, she always does this, and oh, I can't wait to like go back home and like have my own time. It was none of that. It was just what was happening. And there was kind of just like amazement that everything was just so empty, and then agitation was just arising, and words were being spoken. This character was acting, and none of it was held on to. None of it was judged or trying to be manipulated in a certain way, or like analyzed and saying like, oh, okay, I'm gonna do this better next time. It was just what it was. Yeah, it just seems fun now. Like, when the agitation arises, it's kind of like, oh, okay. And then I make a joke with her, but I literally say what I want to say, and then it's done. And it doesn't seem like it's done in an angry manner, like in a personal manner. It's just like, seriously, you can't do that? You can't do that by yourself? And then it's done. And then I joke around with her, and like, it's gone. So in a sense, it's like you do lose a lot, it seems. You lose the past, you lose the future. It's just what's happening. It's just what's happening. There's no holding on to anything. There's no expecting something in the future. I don't expect her to be a better person anymore, because I don't expect me to be a better person. It's just what it is. And there is such a beauty and a freedom in that. But there's also a recognition here that human relationships and attachments and how they're formed is like miraculous, and it's so beautiful. And wow, it should be really cherished in a sense, because, but I understand when you're a person, when you're a me, it can feel like heaviness. It can feel like clutter, and it can sometimes feel like a prison. Like there's just too much. And I think I can appreciate it more now that it's not here. But there is no sense of I wish I had it back. Like, really? Because as beautiful as it was still a kind of entrapment. But it was beautiful. It's so amazing how that happens, how the me creates that. It seems so like mind-boggling and remarkable now. But this freedom, I would not trade it for anything. I'm okay with losing the past. It's not that I can't access my memories of the past and what happened. There's just no personal, emotional connection to them. They're just there. And I wouldn't trade that for anything. I would... yeah. And in a way, it is... there are still some sad things, like, you know, I have no desire to be a better daughter for them. And that can still be in the system. It can still be a strong habit. So I'll still, and there's still compassion and like wanting them to feel happy, and but it's not a ruling narrative. It's like there's like a joy. I want to make you happy. I want to see you happy. So things are done, but no one is doing them. No one is trying to be a better daughter. No one is trying to make them happy. No one is expecting anything. But yeah,